Hi, in today's tutorial, we are going to prepare training areas in QGIS. So these training areas, we are going to use them for supervised classification. All right, so our objective is to digitize polygon training areas using Google Earth imagery and Sentinel-2 imagery in QGIS. So here is our lane cover classification scheme. We are going to target the following lane cover classes. We have built-up areas, Bay Areas, Cropland, CrossOpen Areas, Woodlands, and water. Okay, so let's go to QGIS. Right here we are in QGIS. So first we need to load our Sentinel-2 imagery. So this is my Sentinel-2 imagery for my test site. Next, we are going to the browser, and then we are going to load in the Google satellite. So if I click here, we have our Google satellite. Right, I will just move the Sentinel-2 on top. All right, so this is our imagery. So as you can see, we have the Sentinel-2 and the Google satellite imagery. Okay, here we have more detail, of course, because this is Google satellite. Okay, and this is our Sentinel-2. So this is the central part of the test site. Right, so first we want to create a layer which is going to contain our training polygons for the different lane cover classes. So we are going to create layer, and then create new shape file. Okay, and then here we are going to save the name of the layer in a given folder. So let me choose this folder, Gweru Training Areas, and then I'm just going to say training areas 2020. So this is the name of the file that will contain the training areas. Right, and then under geometry, I'm going to choose the polygon because I want my training areas to be polygons. And then for the coordinate reference system, I'm going to use the WGS 84 UATM zone 35 south. Okay, then under the fields, so I want to add a new field which I'm going to call class. So that means this is going to contain the different lane cover classes. All right, for the length, let me put it at 20. And then I just click add to the list, then it's add to the list. Here I've already have the class, the ID comes automatically. So I want to also to put the class ID that we may populate later, or you can just leave it like this if you are satisfied. Right, let's click OK. Right, then here we have our layer that is going to move, that is going to contain the training areas. Right, if we click on that layer and then we move to a toggle and then add polygon feature, we can now start to digitize our training areas. So we are going to start with the built up areas. Right, so let's just check in more detail the Google Earth imagery. So let's say I'm going to start with this area. So I'm going to click add polygon feature. Then I'll just digitize. Okay, then ID is this is one. I'm going to name it built up. Okay, Built-up areas. Okay. Right. Next, we want to digitize the Bay Areas. Okay. So remember, I have my class definitions already, so I know what my Bay Areas are like. So I go to an area where I know the Bay Areas. For example, this is an example of the. Sorry, this is the CrossOpen Areas. So I'm looking for the Bay Areas. So this is an example of the Bay Areas. Sorry, something's happened here. Okay, so Bay Areas, these are like open quarries for mining or areas where they get sand. Okay, right. I will just digitize this small part, and then I give it a label number ID number 2. So Bay Areas. Okay. Next, we go to the Cropland Areas. So again, let's select one Cropland area. Okay, for example, here we have Cropland Areas. Okay, you can see clearly that these are Cropland Areas. So let's digitize, for example, here. Then number 3. So this is our Cropland. Okay, next we go to the CrossOpen Areas. Okay, these are CrossOpen Areas. So remember, this is an example of the CrossOpen Areas. Okay, there are many of these. So this is feature number 4. Grass open areas. Okay. Next, we go to Woodlands. Okay. So the Woodlands areas. Let's zoom in to an area where we have lots of woodlands. For example, here. Okay. Let's just pick. Oh, this will be good. Okay. So we have woodlands here. So 5. These are our woodlands. Right. Okay. Next, we want to pick the water class. Okay. This is an example of water class. Right. Just go. And 6. This is water. Okay. Let's save. Then let's just go to properties. We go to symbology. Let's pick categorized, and then we pick our class. Then we say classify. Then we have our classes here. Okay, so let's just go to the symbol selector. Then we change the symbols. Okay, so I'll put this color for Bay Areas. Then for built-up areas, let's select transparent, and then I will change to red. Okay, and then I go to Cropland. Okay, transparent, change the transparency, and then I choose yellow. Okay. Next, I go to CrossOpen Areas. Let me choose a color. CrossOpen Areas. Okay, this green will do. Oh, sorry. The green will do here. And then water. I come and pick, say, this color. Okay, here. Okay, and then finally the woodlands. Let me pick another distinctive color. Okay, I'll put, I'll put brown. Okay, this. Right. Okay, so these are our classes now. So what we want to do, because you have a lot of training areas to digitize, so you want to do it in a fast way. So we come here to the training areas layer. We go again to properties, and then we go to attributes form, and then you go to class. So under widget type, you come here and select classification. Right, then click OK. Right. So let's look for another built-up area. Okay, so this is an example of a built-up area. Right, so we want to add, okay, another built-up class. So come to digitize again. Then let's pick these two houses. And then we just come here and do built-up areas. Okay, see, this is much faster. Okay, we can pick another built-up area. Okay, just do like this. And then you can come and select built-up areas. Right, next, let's go to the second class, which is the Bay Areas. Okay, so let's look for another Bay Area so that we digitize. Okay, another Bay Area site, which we can quickly digitize. Okay, so this is this kind of rock areas. Rocks also, they're under Bay Areas. Okay, so let's digitize this. Then we have Bay Areas. Right, next let's go to digitize another Cropland area. Okay, so here we have an example of another Cropland area. Okay, we just put Cropland. Okay, and then let's digitize another example for CrossOpen Areas. Okay, a good example for CrossOpen Areas. So here we go. Here we have other example for CrossOpen Areas. Okay, so we can just digitize. You have CrossOpen Areas. Okay, and then let's look for another area representing the woodlands. Okay, this is a good example of woodlands. They're kind of dense here. We just pick woodlands. And then finally, let's look for another area which represent water. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is an example of water. Okay, so you go on doing this until you have reached the number of training areas that are representative of your study area and they are adequate to do the classification. So for guidelines, you can check the documentation that I prepared, which is available at IGO GeoLabs. Okay, all right. So after that, you just save here, and then you can click toggle. So your training areas now are saved. Okay, we can check. So as you can see here, we have the class values, and as you can notice, some of these values, ID values, are null because we haven't filled anything. So we can quickly deal with this situation. We can update these columns of the ID. So to do that, uh, you go open field and then update field. So in this case, we want to update the ID field. So you just put the $sign and then ID, okay, and then okay. So look, your field is updated, right? So after that, you just save, and then everything is just fine, right? So far we have about 13 classes, right? So this is all about digitizing. So as I said, to get more details, you can check our documentation at iGeoLabs. So thank you very much for watching this tutorial. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do so that you get notifications when I have a new tutorial. Thank you very much. See you in the next tutorial.